All right, so what we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be doing some approach drills. So issue that Jordan has right now is that he does a really good job of getting his left knee up and getting a long stride with his crossovers, but his foot is up and out like this, okay? If you watch some of the greats like Jan Zelezny, his knee is up, but his foot is down. So his left to right foot contact is getting like that sweeping motion that's propelling him forward throughout the crossovers. And when he is in this position here, he's nice and wide, versus in Jordan's crossovers, he gets here, but then by the time the left foot hits the ground, his stride is very narrow, okay? So that's what we're gonna be working on today, is elongating that stride to be here and getting that left foot down and accelerating him through the crossovers. All right, so what we're gonna be doing here is we're just gonna start with the straight leg crossovers, okay? So getting that feel, we wanna get that feel for pulling the left leg down and getting that pop on the balls of our feet. All right, so basically with this one, you're doing your penultimate every single time. So when you're slapping the ground into that penultimate like this, you're just doing it continuous. Slap, slap, slap. So you're getting used to using that left leg to be up and then pulled down. So it's propelling you forward, okay? So just do that slap each rep. It's like, you know how we get that pop and then float out of it when we're doing like the dry reps where we're just running through? So try to just get that pop and float, pop and float, pop and float, okay? Yeah, there it is. Good. All right, so now in this next one, we're gonna do the small, medium, large crossovers, okay? So we're getting our leg up, we're trying to keep our foot down instead of getting our knee up and keeping our foot here, okay? So when we're here, just practice on getting the foot down a little faster and keeping that shin angle nice and vertical, okay? So your knee is up, shin angle's vertical, and just practicing getting that foot down. So small, medium, large, and then reset. Start with just starting sideways with the crossovers. Do normal, don't do the small, medium, large. Just try to feel what it feels like to get through the crossovers. Do a couple reps like that, and then we'll add the running steps and the drawback in. All right, good. When your right foot's coming, your left foot hits the ground, still relatively narrow here. Okay, so it's better than what it was in the spring, but we try to keep getting a little bit more of that extension. Okay, see how here your knee is up, okay, and then your foot is relatively downward pointed compared to what it was. Okay, because you see back when. Back in the spring, look how narrow you were. Yeah. Okay, so you had like no separation. When your left hit, your right was already creeping up on you. Okay, versus this is Zelezny's spacing, right? And then this being the most recent, when the front foot hits, you're here. Okay, so that looks actually a lot better, right? So favorite that. So we need to keep just trying to play around with this motion right here, okay, so that you get that full extension in the spread, okay? Because this is what you were 2 days ago, All right, you see how you're very spread, but then the foot is like out.
Yeah.
Okay, so then when you land, going with just the crossovers again.
Yeah.
All right, so you're getting the left foot down. You're gonna have to keep playing around with it. Do you feel like the speed was throwing you off at all?
Speed of that one?
Yeah.
That one I just started out slower.
Yeah. Just because we want to keep maximizing the separation between your crossovers, right? So when your left foot hits, we want more space here, okay? Because if we could get the hip out and then get the foot down faster, then you're pulling yourself over. You get more range of motion with the crossovers. It's gonna make you accelerate faster and get more through the throw. You see how when you're narrow like that, you're not getting as much like speed and bounce through the crossovers, okay? So that's the whole purpose of like getting the hip out, but then getting the foot down. So then you're sweeping like across with the back foot. Okay, so we want to maximize that separation between the left and the right. All right. I really want you to focus all on the left foot here. Okay, so from the drawback phase, get that pop. Okay, next to your next two crossovers, getting the foot up and sweeping down with the left. Okay, feeling that pop and that separation, right? Getting that left foot down quickly. Okay, and then obviously popping into the penultimate like we always do, okay? So full approach, I'm gonna go down here and get an angle. So just bring it down this way. Yeah. Yeah, you see like you got a really, really good spread here. It's just that by the time the left foot hits, you're still like narrow here. Mm-hmm. That's just because we got to try to get, I think this knee is almost a little too high almost still. Because if you could get that knee lower and then just get the knee out more and then get the shin angle down, like that foot down, that's where, you know, you'll get here and then down. And then by the time your left foot hits, the right will still be behind you and then sweep through again. You know, because you want to almost feel like that left foot is hitting the ground again when you're like extremely like wide. Because that's how you're going to use the most of your speed and your hip mobility. That looked good.
I'm sweeping. I think it's also a little closer because I'm sweeping down and like in.
Yeah, because you're pulling it down.
So
yeah,
I'm like
which
pulling it.
Which is fine. It's just if you notice, like, see how like right here, your knee is like up and the foot is down. And then when it comes out, it extends fully, and then it comes down. Okay, if you watch Zelezny in his video, his knee is like up, and then you see how his foot is like here, and then it comes out. See how his foot is like under his butt almost, like this, and then he's out. Versus you, like your foot and knee is out, and then you pull down. So try to mess around with that a little bit. See what that feels like to almost be here. You know what I mean?
His hips are more turned this way, which makes sense because you can't really open up if you're straight this way.
Yeah.
So he like pre-turned almost so he could open up more. Okay. Play around,
Just play around with it. Yeah. See what it feels like to just be like here, almost like that. Yeah, I know, but. No, but that's like a big thing I noticed in your crossovers is like you're very like bouncy and floaty, but you don't have like that speed for like, you know, you're a 4.240 guy. Like we need to be able to use and harness that speed, especially with like how mobile your hip mobility is. It's like we need to be able to use all that energy, and that's by maximizing that spread in your crossovers and not just like bouncing, you know what I mean? So, but just like by getting that pop and that, you know, that speed down the runway.
I'm gonna try and be. This might look weird. I might try and be more runny on this one.
Yeah.
Get more of that pre-turn and see how that feels, and then just sharpen it.
Yeah, just feel it out. I like that.
A snap too.
Yeah, you're getting more of a snap, and you're a lot, like you said, a lot more runny, but you're getting like faster through it.
And it's still really bouncy.
But yeah, I would just say you don't want to get like, you don't want to make it too mechanical where you're like trying to reach too much. You know what I mean? Because that's where getting that spread, and then like just bringing the foot down instead of out and then down.
Yeah.
All right, so this next rep, because you've been doing like 5 or 6 just to like get a lot of reps in. I want you to do like your competition approach now, where you're literally just like draw back 1, 2, penultimate, or however many you take. Yeah, they need it. Yeah, there it is.
That felt so fucking fast.
Good. And that's the thing too, is like it might not look perfect right now, but when you're just going off the feel of it, it's gonna feel way better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So much faster than.
Yeah.
I never carry speed towards the end like that.
Yeah. Well, that's because like, I mean, you think about it, right? When you're going for like a short-term goal, you kind of are just like, all right, smooth and rhythmic, right? Yeah. You're not really worrying about speed. And when you had like 5 months to prepare your approach into the season before, where like before with football you couldn't do this, now you have the full off season to do it, and we're taking a break from throwing, and like we have the time to like diagnose it now. So by you like dedicating the next like 3 weeks and then carrying it over to the off season, like it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But that's where it's just like short term. Before it was like, all right, just be bouncy through the crossovers and then just throw it through the point, where now it's like we could be more like specific with it. So because think about before last year, right? You're bouncy, not really using your speed, and then half the time you'd miss the point. It's like if you could carry this speed through the end and get that donkey kick through, like the shit's going 90 meters. All right, real quick. So you see out here, you know how like when we were throwing in the fall, a lot of the times like your chest was like really high, and then you were throwing it like you were still getting obviously a good external rotation, but the tip was way up. So see how here, like through your crossovers, how you're like looking up, almost like you're like leaning back a little bit. On this next one, try to stay a little bit more tall throughout the crossovers. See what that feels like.
All right.
It's really just about carrying that posture through the end. That way, when you hit that penultimate, you're not already in that leaning back. Because like that's like, yeah, it's when you hit the ground in the mock meet. is because like you're almost like relying on that lean back sometimes for the extra power, but now it's like if we're staying tall and we're bringing more speed, you're not going to have to lean back.
Yeah.
Like you always get good external rotation, you always get good layback. You just focus on staying tall, getting through the jab with your lower body. Like that angle is going to correct itself. You don't have to worry about dipping back. All right. You want to leave it there for today?
Yes.
All right. Let's go. Let's go lift.
It's lifting time.